History of the World.
It's also in the Discord chat.
I have it in my queue to watch later because I can't watch it now. It's 19 minutes long.
Hey, welcome to Andrew and Lisa. This is the No Kidding Podcast. What's up?
Yeah, what's up?
How's it going? Have you watched Bill Hurt's History of the World?
You know, I saw about 17 seconds of it. So does that count?
Okay. Have you finished Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Okay, now you're just putting me on the spot.
Okay. Well, guess what?
What?
I watched all of Warrior Nun.
Did you really?
I watched all of it.
Oh, you're the best brother in the whole world.
Well, somebody has to hold up this relationship with his two bare hands.
You're the better sibling for sure. I didn't listen to any of your recommendations.
Can't believe it.
Cannot believe it. What'd you think of Warrior Nun?
Wild. Absolutely wild. I stand by that it feels like an anime.
Uh-huh.
I think its spirit is I think we looked it up actually. Me and Lervin watched it together, my fiance.
Oh.
And we noticed that it was based on a comic originally, I think. So yeah, it's definitely got its spirit there in the comics. I think.
They did a good job, I thought.
It was really cool. Love the concepts, the ideas, the liberties taken with history, I guess. But
right.
It's neat. It was wow. Just what a fun ride. What a wild ride. It's very rare that I get Lervin to pay attention to such absurd shows. But I mean, it was just so much fun and well produced, I must say.
Yeah. The one bad thing about stuff like that, obviously, is that now you have to wait forever for the next episode. And then you're going to forget all about it and think, oh, now I got to watch it over again.
Course.
I think they do that on purpose to get more watch time on the first season.
Yep. I think as soon as we finished it, Lervin was like, when is season 2? And then she staring at her phone like, oh, this one just came out.
Yeah.
So
that's why
here we are.
My boyfriend, Mike, he's like, I will not watch a show unless there's at least 3 seasons. I think for that reason, because it's like, well, 2 reasons. One, because if you made it to 3 seasons, you've kind of proven yourself. And usually shows like find their groove after 3 seasons. So season 3 is typically the best season. But also, you can just binge it. And you don't get too disappointed when the first season's over. And by season 3, you're kind of like, okay, I can take a break. I've been watching this for 3 seasons now, so it's okay. But
I think Netflix does a pretty good job of like the stuff that floats up to the front recommendations, I'd say. I think they do a pretty good job of nailing the first couple seasons.
Oh, yeah.
Like to the point where you feel like it's very interesting, but and you don't feel like it's going to let you down over the next couple seasons.
You mean like it's okay to wait because you think... Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Well, yeah, I feel like the 3-season thing is a limiter, A, because there's plenty to binge, but also B, because you never know if a show is going to be good past season 1. Like sometimes there's a lot of shows that had an amazing first season.
Yes.
And then like they kind of string you along in the second season, and then the third season you're like, do you even remember why you started the show?
Yeah, I totally understand that. Speaking of, what was I going to say? Oh, well, recommendations for one. I was going to say, isn't it kind of based on your previous watch history? Is it kind of like an algorithm? They suggest things that they think you would like?
Yeah, I assume there's some personalization because, yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of why they have like the kids account that they can do or like limits it to kids stuff. And
right.
I think there's a little bit of tailoring that goes on.
I have a second thing to ask about. Do you have a VPN?
Of course.
Okay.
I mean, I have the internet, don't I?
Well, see, I don't have one. And I've just recently learned that, because I never really needed one necessarily. I mean, I'm not...
Region switching?
Yes. I've just recently learned that it does that.
You just learned?
Yes. And so, like, there's so many people that I follow in other countries, and they're like, oh, you got to check out this show. Oh, this show's so good. It's on Netflix. And I'm like, no, it's not on Netflix. I don't see it on Netflix. And then they're like, oh, well, it's just in the UK or it's just in this part of the country or whatever. And now I've learned that with a VPN, you can go to Netflix and change your location, and therefore that'll give you can watch the shows from other countries.
My God.
It's like mind-blowing to me. I was like, we have to get one. We have to get one. Because, yeah, anyway. Because a lot of stuff that I like
So
is like British,
I
like British stuff.
So instead of watching the Great Baking Show or whatever, you want to watch the original British Bake Off?
I don't know. No, it's more like, what are they called? There's like a name for them, but it's like basically British murder shows. They're there's
the
there's like
Sherlocks.
a genre. It's like
Stabbies.
I forget what they're called. And it's so funny because I was just talking to Mike about this and told him what it was called.
I feel like Mike would have a VPN. Like, he's a pretty techie guy.
I know, like he's considered it. That's what I said. I was like, surprised you don't have one. I don't know.
Well, it's a pretty useful, handy tool.
Yeah, because you have to pay for a service, right? It's not free.
Right.
So
There's pretty cheap ones though. You can get like whole years for like $60 or something.
yeah. Which one do you have? Do you have like one that you like?
I can personally recommend the private internet access.
Okay, maybe that's the one. I don't know if that's the one he was looking at. Okay, I'm gonna ask him about it. Only for that one reason. I mean, I have no other reason to cut it, but
Of course.
yeah.
Wink.
Wink, wink.
So, I have been really enjoying instant cold brew tea.
Instant cold brew tea. Now, when you say brew,
That's right.
When you say brew, is it like
Mm-hmm.
wait, I have to pause for a second. What I'm talking about is British procedurals. That's what it's called. That's the genre. British procedural.
Oh, I was watching a
I was
procedural.
watching a British procedural, and they're just the best. So, cold brew, I consider that to be like brewing. Always to me sounded like a heated process, but I guess you brew beer, right? And beer isn't hot, so brewing is probably just fermenting. What is it?
Well, I'm pretty sure beer does get hot in the process of brewing, but you definitely can brew cold, as any coffee aficionado will tell you. It's just a matter of putting something in water and having it like leach into.
Well, let's look up the definition of brewing, shall we? The definition of brewing
All
is
right.
the
Okay, Lisa.
activity or business of producing beer. To
Wow.
make beer
Okay.
by soaking, boiling, and fermentation.
Think perhaps we have some secondary.
Wait, number 2. To make tea or coffee by mixing it with hot water. So, okay, so
Well-
you make it with hot water and then you put ice in it? Is this what's going on?
That's an iced coffee or iced tea.
Okay, but that's not what you do?
No,
Okay.
it's cold brew.
Well, tell me the process because this is very confusing.
So I take cold water, and I take tea, or coffee, or both.
Both?
No, never
Oh,
both.
jeez.
But that'd be interesting.
You're like, oh, I just thought of a new... Get your notes app out.
And you put them together, and wait. That's about it.
Interesting.
So usually you would, run hot water through, like coffee in a filter, and then tea. You, for some reason, do it in the opposite way and put tea wrapped up in the filter and put it in water, hot water. But the idea is the same. You just expose it to hot water, and the heat of the water will, essentially the energy in it will quickly disseminate the oils and stuff in the material into the water.
So it is a tea
that
bag?
creates coffee.
What you use?
I mean, you can use a tea bag. You can use like how people do it with coffee. I mean, I'm just going through the high level idea behind brewing.
Oh, okay. I thought you were telling me your process.
It's just that kind of idea that you just generally that's what people do when they make heated, like hot
Sure.
brew, I guess you'd call it.
Because it
Normal
makes
brew.
sense that you would need something hot to not only evaporate, but
So the thing is,
extract.
it quickly will create that reaction essentially, and
okay.
the heat actually like kind of leaches out the like oils and stuff in like the tea and the coffee beans into the water, enabling you to pretty instantly have tea or
Sure.
coffee. And then so some people like it cold, so they'll put ice in it. But recently, what's caught on is people never getting it hot and actually just putting cold water and coffee grounds together or cold water and tea leaves together and just letting it sit. And then if you just leave it longer, like say overnight, or even like up to a couple days, you will eventually get the same or even stronger concentration of tea and coffee. And then you just have to filter out the water only so you can drink it.
Okay.
And the benefit of this is it has a less acrid flavor and generally is lower in acidity and has like a smoother taste and creates less issues with like acid reflux and other kinds of high acidity issues.
Interesting.
So
it's kind of healthier for you to do it that way.
Yeah, theoretically, I guess some people do it for like less free radicals or
but
something.
It
I don't
takes
know.
longer.
Well, yeah, that's one of the big downsides is the time it takes. Generally, people end up brewing a lot more because it can be kept longer,
right.
Which is one of the benefits because obviously a hot drink you need to drink while it's hot.
Mm-hmm.
But a cold drink you can just keep in the fridge for, like a week. So you can create like a whole pitcher of it and just go for it.
Okay, so you make like pitchered and then it becomes just like cold tea. Right?
Yeah, essentially. So you have like a cold tea that's less acidic and
right.
yeah, just delicious.
So,
and then you can keep it in like a big
vat or something.
Yeah,
Let me
something
ask
like
you
that.
a question though. I'm assuming you keep it in a pitcher or something that has a lid that you could shake, because I would assume, depending on how you make it, that because it's cold and it sits, it's all kind of going to the bottom and you have to shake it up and like mix it still.
It has an interesting effect where some of it will sink to the bottom and some of it will stay at the top. But yeah, I would definitely, that's basically the situation you can leave it. The traditional way to make like cold brew coffee is you just dump it in there and kind of leave it overnight.
Yeah.
And then, but one of the things I've been enjoying lately is I can practically instantly make, or pretty instantly, at least after the first batch, make cold brew tea. Because what I've learned I can do is I have this little cute little French press that I made.
Yeah.
Or not made. I bought on
I was like, wow, you're
Amazon.
a designer now. Awesome.
Because I've recently realized I used to make big pitchers of cold brew. But I found that because I've lost so much weight recently, because I'm just pretty great.
You are great.
And
we'll talk about that later.
I've become like hyper efficient and I don't need all that caffeine. I found that my tolerance has gotten pretty low.
Yeah.
And consuming a whole pitcher of cold brew a week has become something of a anxiety-inducing task.
Yes, welcome to my world.
So, I've begun to really enjoy some cold brew iced tea. Sometimes I make a mixture of iced tea and black tea. Actually, it's pretty good.
Okay, when you say iced tea and black tea, are you talking like? Are you making?
Sorry, I mean green tea.
Okay.
Did I say iced tea? I mean green
That's what
tea.
I was like, wait a minute, like.
Which is funny because when I think of iced tea, I think of black tea. Where did that come from?
I don't know.
Anyways.
Okay, good clarification there.
Yep. Good clarification. And so I got this like miniature little French press that I had the idea of I would empty out. I just tear open the tea bag, so I dump the tea into it, and then I fill it up with ice cold water. And then I put the little, like, if you ever seen a French press, there's a little plunger on it.
Yes.
I, like, extend the plunger just a little bit, just to keep the tea leaves that float to the top, like, just barely push them under to submerge them.
Right.
And then I put in the fridge for, like, I don't know, I'd say, like, an hour. And then you can come back and just kind of, like, plunge it up and down real quick. And it creates this, like, vortex in it where all the leaves go around. And it will totally make tea, like, really quick. And then after that, you can pretty much have it instantly, because what I'll do is I'll pour out what it made, and then I can refill it with cold water. And because the leaves are like saturated now, you can do it again. So you could just put in like a bunch of leaves to make like more than you really need, but you can just keep refilling the one French press and then just kind of shake the plunger up and down to like agitate the leaves. And then you pretty much have tea like instantly.
So do you drink it?
It's awesome.
Instantly?
It's cold. Yeah, I mean, you can just push the plunger down to then filter it all out and get the because the plunger is like also a filter.
Yeah.
So basically, as it plunges down, you're left with only the water or tea in this case on top.
Okay.
And then so you just pour that into a cup.
So I guess you don't have to let it sit to get more of the nutrients and stuff out of it. It's just it comes out.
Yeah, like you'd normally do with cold brew. You leave it like overnight or something. I mean, you can. I usually I'll refill it because obviously I go there, I get the tea out, and then I'll refill it with the water, kind of plunge it a little bit to get it going. But then I'll put it in the fridge while I'm drinking the tea I already made. And then by the time I get back, it's like pretty strong tea. In fact, what I've got only really fills up half. It's like such a small little cute cold brew
Aw.
or French press that when it only really makes like half of the cup that I normally use. So then I fill the rest up because I mean, honestly, I put like so many tea leaves in there. It's pretty strong. So I just fill the rest up with like regular water and then I'm good to go.
That's a lot of work for your drink. But I guess you'd appreciate it more.
I mean, it's no more work than making tea, really. It's just
I guess so.
You have to,
That's
I
true.
guess, have a little bit of weight on like the first one if you want to wait like an hour. But
Let me ask you where do you get your tea leaves from? Is it like wrapped up in a thing, or is it loose leaves?
Oh yeah, they come in tea bags.
Okay.
I think that's just the most convenient because like sometimes they make hot tea, like sometimes when you're in a mood.
Right. So do you get them from just like the grocery store?
Yeah,
grocery
I don't have my pinky out here. I have the Publix brand Greenwise Earl Grey tea,
right,
and English breakfast, as well as some jasmine green tea.
Look at you, branching out with your flavors.
But still love the coffee.
You do, yeah. I know you're
more of a
coffee guy.
once a week kind of thing.
Right, like kind of a special savory flavor.
And my favorite coffee shops, they're reeling me in. It's the fall season.
It is.
They had this pumpkin cold brew at Foxtail. They opened a new Foxtail. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
It's right there on Orange.
Really? Oh, I love that area of town.
It's where the old Starbucks used to be. The Starbucks abandoned that building. That was such a nice building. They built their own Starbucks, so that one's pretty nice too now. But the old one was like this all brick place. It like looked so eclectic and cool. Yeah. So I feel like Foxtail fits a lot more in there.
Okay, well that worked out perfect.
I don't know if people know, but they're kind of a local coffee chain, kind of like hipstery. But definitely getting out there. I'm seeing Foxtails like as far as Claremont now, like really far from like where I would normally see them. So really? I don't know. Maybe they're a like world chain. I think they're Orlando though.
I don't know. I don't have any over here where I live, but I have seen them basically closer towards downtown Orlando areas. But they were started in Winter Park. Oh, is that where it started?
Yeah.
That's not so far from me. But
there you go.
They just branched the opposite direction of me. So, unless they have one, they might have one in Oviedo, which I don't know about, but anything's possible. But I was researching the cold brew health benefits to see if there was like any particular reason why people started doing this. And it is true that cold brew is shown to have higher amounts of antioxidants when compared to hot brew because the hotter brewing can scorch the tea, destroying the natural benefits, as well as creating a bitter tasting tea.
There you go.
So it's actually healthier for you to drink
cold brew your tea,
cold brew,
folks.
Although this is the cold brew where you leave it, which I assume it would be the same health benefits, but
yeah, that's what because like all the issues with hot brew all come from the water being hot.
Right.
So there's ice water I'm doing it with.
Exactly. Awesome. Well, I have to try that. And that's kind of how I've been to a couple of restaurants where they have multiple teas, lined up. And there's like papaya tea and I don't know, like different types of green tea flavors, like mixtures or whatever. And I think those are also cold brewed. Because they're not like your traditional teas that you would drink that are like sweet. They have kind of they are sweet, but they're very natural flavored. If it tastes like to me. So I could see getting into it from like I don't think I could go with the Earl Grey cold. I feel like that's just such a warm, cozy drink. So but I could do like more fruity drinks where I could like mix green tea, black tea, and add some other flavors in there like pomegranate or papaya or like something.
Yeah, dude, the world's your oyster. Go for it. I loved making like when I do my cold brew coffee, I loved I was having like trying to build up seasonal mixes. So like my fall mix, I'd be having it right now. I should make one now. It'd be like I put a little cinnamon, you put a little coriander in there, and then you add like some nutmeg.
But I don't
just like a little bit, not like nothing crazy, but like just to get those little hints, those little notes of autumn in there.
I know, but so for whatever reason, to me, that as a cold brew just does not sound as inviting as a hot brew because it's just like, it's just a cozy thing. And a cozy thing comes with like warmth and like this.
Well, I mean, have you ever had horchata? I mean,
No,
there's cinnamon drinks that are cold.
really? No. The one thing that I could possibly go
But
for
eggnog.
is like
Eggnog's a cozy
apple
cold drink.
cider. Even though apple cider is traditionally served warm, I could drink apple cider cold. And so maybe that's
Alcoholic apple cider, even
the
better.
closest thing. Never had that. But
Never had alcoholic apple cider?
I don't think so.
Ugh,
I don't think
missing
I have.
out. There was a dedicated apple cider brewery, I don't know what you call it, in Gatlinburg in Tennessee when we went.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we were going, like, have, like, there's a real tourist trap there now for, like, doing the, I guess, bar hopping, but with samples. Like, you go around and you pay, like, $5 and you get to try a little taste at each, like, of the alcoholic places around there that have, like, distilleries for moonshine and stuff. But they had one for, they have a lot of wineries and stuff, but they had one for ciders. And so we got to try, like, 10 ciders.
Wow, really?
It's pretty intense that they have so many.
That's, I wish they would have something like that here. I feel like, I don't know, probably wouldn't do as well, but.
I mean, there are, like, I don't know, some areas that, I feel like downtown is the bar crawl area, but then it just gets crazy, so.
Right. I was looking up Foxtail Coffee, and there is one. The closest one to me is UCF campus. So it's like in their campus store.
Oh, my.
But yeah, I mean, that would be like really a lot of effort for.
Maybe
for
we should go
something.
get coffee sometime and have an in-person podcast. You all can come with us.
We should. We should do it live, like on Instagram TV or something. Or on YouTube.
Oh, live edit?
Sure. We're just chatting.
No holding back?
No holding back. So what else
All
is
right.
going on? You've got your Netflix. You've got your cold brew. You're just living the life these days.
Yeah.
The fall
I'm
life.
doing it.
The autumn.
Yeah.
Fall life. Have you seen any like good cozy shows?
Some cozy shows.
Yeah, like
Cozy shows. Honestly, this has kind of become a meme among our friends, but
oh gosh.
Lervin has a ritual where every autumn she watches through the entirety of Gilmore Girls.
Okay, yeah.
So we're doing that.
Okay. That's good.
It's like something about that show feels like they really nail autumn in that show.
Do they?
Like every season, they obviously do like an autumn time
Yeah.
section. I mean, they also have like the, I guess, winter and summer times, but like whenever it's autumn, they just nail it because, well, the show takes place in Connecticut, so
Beautiful.
feels
Yeah.
feels fitting. But they have a easy backdrop, I guess, but
True.
it's pretty awesome. It gives you those cozy vibes.
I gotta say, I've only watched Gilmore Girls through one time, and it was when it was on the air. So
It's unacceptable.
I've never, but there's just this is one of my things, is there's probably less than 1% of shows that I've watched, or movies. Well, I'll say like seasonal movies maybe, but are they exception?
Seasonal movies.
Seasonal movies are like the exception, but I just never rewatch anything because there's just so many things to watch.
You don't need to.
Yeah, like unless I'm trying to think if there's anything. Okay, so one show that I've watched a ton, like rewatched, is Seinfeld. But that's just like because it's on, it can be on. It's like, it's always funny. It's always in the, like, it's just such a classic. But I'm trying to think if there's any other show that I've binged.
I mean,
more than
honestly, like,
once.
I always try and encourage my fiance to like get away from the repetitive. Like, you can get in this trap when you're on Netflix all the time where you're just like, okay, I'm done with that show that I've watched 1,000 times. Now let me put on The Office that I've seen 1,000 times. Let me put on
Yes.
Friends.
Well,
And like this kind of stuff. And it's like you get this weird, like, trapped in the 90s situation.
well, it's funny you say that because I'd been thinking about rewatching Friends all the way through because I don't think I've ever watched that from start to finish. I've watched, when it was on TV. So forever ago, obviously.
Yeah.
And obviously I
You
didn't.
might be surprised because I feel like when Lervin actually sat down to, she had never seen it either from start to finish. At least, obviously, everybody's seen some episodes, but
Yeah.
it was one of those situations where she watched from first episode to last episode, and I was there most of the time. And I remember thinking like, oh yeah, I've never seen all of this show. I've just seen a lot of episodes, like just the ones that they repeated on TV all the time.
Uh-huh.
But like, I don't know, right up until the end, I was able to like say exactly what somebody was about to say before they said it. Like I was like, I think I have seen this whole show. They were just out of order or something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty certain that I've seen every single episode, just not binging and not consecutively and not, yeah. So I was like, and a coworker of mine is doing that. She's watching it all the way through, and she said it's so refreshing to go back before there was like internet and cell phones, and just kind of like transport yourself back to a time in your own life, not like another century where you weren't living and it was simpler, but
Right.
like your own timeline where it was just things were simpler. And obviously it's a comedy sitcom, so they're going to make it more lighthearted than it actually was at the time. But it's just kind of, she was saying it was just kind of like a, cozy way to just not think about how crazy things are right now. But so I was considering it, but I don't know. It's just one of those shows that I don't necessarily need to rewatch, but I like to catch once in a while and be like, "Ha, I remember that episode," or whatever. But I'm just trying to think. Like, I mean, there's movies, and Mike's the same way as Lerwin. He has specific shows that he's connected with, or movies, and he will repetitively rewatch only those shows. Like Star Trek, for one, like he'll rewatch that from all of the different shows, all the different seasons, all the different series or whatever, and then he'll start over again and watch it again. Not like back. I mean, I'm sure he'll switch it up with a different show, but they're always shows that he's already previously
Right.
watched. And I'm like, can we watch something like a new movie we've never seen before? No. Can we watch a new series? Can we start a new series? It's like, no. And I don't know if it's because it's like too much to get invested in more shows when it's already part of the character to rewatch series. So like if he loves this new series, now it's got to come into his cycle
The
of,
domain.
yeah, like the domain of cycling through shows,
Yeah,
cycling more shows.
I mean honestly to collect the best hits is definitely a good practice. Like I totally rewatch shows at times, but I mean there's just so much out there that it's worth, I think, at least devoting most of your time to seeing the new stuff and like experiencing the new things and
Yeah, I think that's
but
kind of goes back to what we were talking about last episode on how, and you and I are kind of similar in this, in that we're always like thinking of new ideas and trying new things and like wanting to get good at multiple things. And so I think our brains are kind of like, I don't want to do something I've already done. I want to try something new. And it might just be a personality thing. Like different people do different things. Yeah. No,
yeah,
no
but there's always
shade
that
being
situation
thrown, is all I'm
where
saying.
I love to, get into those new shows and stuff and find out like even if something's bad, it's like I always view it as like, well, that was an experience, and I get to talk to people about like,
Yeah.
oh, what show sucks or whatever.
Yeah, like that was
But
horrible.
I don't know. There is always those instances where you fall back to, I don't know. At some point, something happens. I never really remember how it started, but 9 hours later, we're watching the final scenes of Return of the King, the extended edition.
Yeah.
And we've now watched all through Lord of the Rings for the umpteenth tillion time.
Right.
And it was just so good. It was as good as the first day I watched it. And we always watch through it. We do that thing where every time like it comes to that scene where Aragorn like actually injured his knee or whatever. What was it? It's like we're always like, oh, he really got hurt here, and they used his actual scream.
Oh, did they? I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's like all of this trivia and like especially in like the extended editions where it's like every time it comes up, it's just kind of rolling the dice which one of us brings it up, but we always act like the other one's never heard it before, and we're like,
Yeah, that's true.
It's so good.
Oh, that's good. I wonder if there's some like psychology behind it, behind like types of people who like creatures of comfort, and they have their comfort shows that they just watch over all the time, versus people who don't do that, that are just like, let's just watch something new. I wonder if there's any like psychology behind that. But there
Yeah,
are,
like which one of us are crazy?
no, not crazy, just like, like it might mean like some are more risk taker types versus some people are less open to
I mean, there's also
change.
something to be said for being content, and
Exactly, yeah.
being
Like
okay with what you
somebody
have.
who's
But
content versus somebody who's always looking for the next exciting thing, or, like adrenaline junkies. I don't know. I wonder if there's any like connection between all that. There are definitely things that, like shows that I like to watch. It's not necessarily specific shows, but like I was saying with like seasonal shows, I definitely am like during certain seasons, I'm like, I need to watch like Halloween themed movies during Halloween, and I need to watch Christmas themed things during Christmas, and like that kind of stuff.
you're like, oh man, it's getting close to Halloween. I gotta put on Hocus Pocus.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's funny. I did watch Hocus Pocus this year, but I haven't seen that movie in forever that I forgot everything about it. So it was like rewatching it for the first time. So
How
it
fun.
wasn't exactly what I expected it, but yeah, it's good. Um,
How would you rate Hocus Pocus?
um, it was exactly what I was hoping for, because I wanted to dive into the Halloween stuff very lightheartedly in the beginning. And so I picked shows that were like Hocus Pocus, where it's like kind of more of a comedy with a Halloween theme versus like an actual scary or horror show. So I picked that. So it met my needs accurately. But it was
Excellent.
definitely cheesy and kind of predictable in a way, but it was to be expected. So Hocus
Oh
Pocus, I
man.
watched Sleepy Hollow and Addams Family, and then I jumped into
Which Sleepy Hollow?
the
The
one with
Johnny Depp
Johnny
one?
Depp. Yeah, so it's like also
Okay.
very like comical and lighthearted. And then I jumped into the Haunting at Bly Manor.
Oh, the new
So
Netflix show?
yeah, it's like and Lervin was telling me this, and I did not make the connection at all that it was within the same realm of the Haunting at, what was the other one?
Hill
Hill
House?
House. Is that it? Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
think it's meant to be like, I don't know if it's anthology or if it's supposed to be like a spiritual successor, but yeah. I think it uses some of the same actors, right?
if they did, I didn't notice, to be
Hmm.
honest. Yeah, but I thought it was good, but it's very slow. Um,
Okay.
it
I
start
mean, I think it's supposed to be that kind of like creepy build.
Yeah, it's definitely creepy build. The last couple episodes are where like all the action hits. So
Ah, so you finished it?
I did, yeah. I'm done now. And the storyline's great and everything. It's just like there was a lot of middle stuff that I don't know. I mean, you know, it's fine. It's part of the storyline. It's great. It's just was kind of slow, that's all I'm saying. But it's good. It's good. It met my needs for what. And it was definitely creepy enough
Nice.
that I was like, okay, I have to cut it off at a certain time of the night and
Oh, good.
redirect my brain before I go to sleep, because
That's a good amount of creepy.
yeah. Oh, we never talked about my ghost story in the last episode. We started talking about ghosts and we never talked about this. Okay, so this happened to me and I'm not even
Oh, you
joking.
mean the person who pushed you in your chair?
Well, I don't, that wasn't a ghost. That was just like my chair
I'm pretty
moved.
sure it was a
It
ghost.
could have been. I mean, I can't discount it. I can't prove one way or the other. And I certainly can't prove this either. So, let me preface this by saying I don't believe in ghosts. So,
But I saw one. So
but
here.
I can't not, but I also don't not believe in ghosts, if you know what I mean. Like, I can't
Ah,
prove that there's no
what a
ghosts, but I
loophole.
can't prove that there is. So therefore, I can't prove or disprove. So I have no opinion on it whatsoever. Um, but here's
Okay.
the thing. Like every time anything happens, I always go logically. I'm like, okay, the wind was blowing, the air conditioning turned on, that's the noise I'm hearing, or like whatever, like you can kind of,
But
yeah. So here's the thing. So I was in my room and I was asleep and I was dreaming. So I was very asleep. I was in REM sleep or whatever. I was deep. And
okay.
but I'm a very light sleeper. So if somebody touches me or says my name or anything, I will wake up, even if I'm dreaming, even if I'm like in a deep sleep. Sometimes I have to say it twice, but most of the time I'm a pretty light sleeper. So anyways, and I sleep in a cocoon. I'm very cocooned. I like to be surrounded by pillows, and I have a pillow over my head when I'm sleeping to like
Oh
block out the
my.
noise and the light and everything. So like I'm very, yeah, cocooned. And so I got woken up by pressure being applied to the pillow on top of my head. It felt like somebody was pressing with their fingers down on the pillow, so I felt pressure. And
They're killing you.
yeah, so I woke up and I was like, and Mike had already left for the day because he had jury duty, so he had to leave like really early. And so it was still early, but he wasn't home. And I know that because I woke up when he left and I had gone back to sleep. So he was gone. And so I woke up and I thought, oh, well, maybe he came back. And then I looked at my phone to see what time it was. It was like an hour later, so I knew there
How
was
were you
no
able
way.
to see it when the pillow was getting forced
Well, I
down
moved
upon
the
your head?
pillow out of the way and I looked.
Well, I was a weak
So
ghost.
I was like full awake, right? So then I'm like, okay, well, he's not home, but I was really tired, so I was like going back to sleep. So I lay down, I put the pillow back over my head, and this is like no joke, less than a minute later, and like I was still awake. There was no way I had fallen back asleep. I was awake, and the same
No way.
thing happened, and it was enough pressure and long enough that it wasn't like a small like feeling. It was like an extended pressure on my head. So I'm like, what the heck? Like, there's somebody in my, like, it felt so realistic. Like, there was somebody in my room that just pushed on my head. And I was like, okay, Mike must be home. He's playing a joke, whatever. So I completely lift the pillow off of my head and I sit up. Like, I laid there for a second because I was like stunned, but then I lifted up and I sat up. Nobody in my room, nothing. And I was like, okay, let me explain this.
That you could see.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I have to explain this. What could it have been? But I literally cannot think of any.
I don't know. You ever have those dreams where you like get up and go to the bathroom and then you're like,
Yeah.
this is weird. Like my toothbrush doesn't feel real. And then you wake up again.
No, not really. But I did kind of think, well, maybe I'm dreaming that I'm awake. Like maybe I'm still dreaming. But I never went back to sleep after that. So, yeah.
Ooh, you were that creeped out, huh?
Well, it's really hard for me to fall back asleep once I'm awake to the point where I'm sitting up. Like if I'm like stirred awake and I, by a noise or something, I can kind of I can fall back asleep. But if I am,
how about if you're pumped with adrenaline?
yeah, that's not gonna happen. I'm not going back to sleep. So I was up and but it's weird because
did you finish the haunting on Bly House or whatever?
On what house? Oh, Bly Manor.
I
did.
Bly Manor haunting.
I did, but I wasn't watching it.
But I mean that night.
No, I wasn't watching it at that time. This was before I started that show.
Sure.
It was, I swear, it was. So.
Oh, was this after you watched Hocus Pocus? That's a spooky show. Right, spooky.
Yeah, I was like in between. I was in between those kind of movies, but I was.
See, you were scared of
No,
Sarah Michelle Gellar breaking into your room and killing you.
Not at all. Those movies did not scare me at all. They didn't even like affect my I don't know, my adrenaline. And anyway, it was like
I meant Sarah Jessica Parker, by the way.
You what?
Clearly, I clearly meant Sarah Jessica Parker.
Oh, right.
Not Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Oh, right.
Totally
yeah.
different demon spiritual.
Totally different movie.
Situation.
She was also in several scary movies. That's another thing. I was trying to watch Scream. If anybody knows Scream, the movie, I can't find it free anywhere, and I am
use your VPN.
Subscribed to multiple entertainment venues that I pay for, so I'm not going to pay for and rent this movie that's like ancient. When
you're like, that's absurd.
Like it is. I can't spend any more money on entertainment when I have like Prime and Netflix and other things. So I'm like, I guess I can't watch it because I'm not going to rent it. I'm not going to buy it. So unfortunately, that one's a lost cause. But I was really kind of craving those old 90s horror shows. Anyway,
gotcha.
Oh well. If anybody else has a recommendation for me, let me know because I need a new recommendation. They did just come out with it's like a new Sherlock Holmes movie, but it's from the perspective of, I think, his daughter is.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Enola Holmes
Yeah,
or
Nola.
whatever.
Nola? I don't know. I've seen it.
Didn't we talk about how they were getting sued right after I brought up that fun fact about how you can't show Sherlock Holmes as having any emotion?
Oh, really?
They got sued for basically portraying Sherlock Holmes with emotion.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I did. I think we did talk about that on one of the episodes, but that's funny. Nope. But anyways, what else?
Well, I tried the new spicy chicken nuggets at McDonald's.
How was it?
How did it take him this long to make spicy chicken nuggets? That's what I want to know.
That's
first
true.
off.
That is true. I'm with you there. But were they good? I just can't.
They were good.
Okay.
They had all the they had everything that you love about the McDonald's chicken nuggets, because obviously they're not like normal chicken nuggets. They're like weird smooth chicken nuggets.
Yeah, they have like a crispy exterior.
Yeah, I think it's because it's like panko instead of like normal breading.
That's why I would think
yeah.
they wouldn't be good. Like spicy nuggets in that texture. Is that?
You expect them to be you want some jagged spice.
I don't know. Like I feel like it can't absorb a spice. It would be weird. It'd be like, I mean, like all the other chicken nuggets, it's like you kind of feel like they're baked in it or whatever. But this is more of like a deep fried thing. So that's the texture I associate with it.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're all deep fried.
Probably, but I mean, this is like, have you ever had those deep fried Oreos or like deep fried where it has this crust around it? That's what I've seen.
Right.
So I'm like, how do you spice that without it being?
I assume you mix it in the spice.
But before you, like you mix the chicken in the spice and then you deep fry it, but so the exterior doesn't have the spice on it. I think
they mix the like panko breading with the spice, and then they dip in the chicken.
Okay, so it was good.
That would be my guess. I don't know.
Did it taste different? Did it like not like?
I mean, yeah. It first of all, it's fast food spicy. It's not like real spicy.
Right.
It's not like
I know.
Watch out for these McDonald's chicken nuggets. It's basically like these McDonald's chicken nuggets have flavor.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I would recommend them without the mighty sauce or whatever they serve with it. They serve like some kind of like spicy jelly with it, which is fine, I guess. I didn't have anything against it, but I felt like it was better with just. I actually ended up having it with Chick-fil-A honey mustard because the best. I got something with Chick-fil-A or at Chick-fil-A as well as from McDonald's.
Okay. So do you see? This is why I can't do it, because my sauce of choice for chicken nuggets, and it is a staple for me. Like if they do not give me this sauce when I get chicken nuggets there, I will not eat the chicken nuggets. They just do not taste good with anything else other than sweet and sour sauce. So.
Oh, at McDonald's?
Yeah, like I have to have the sweet and sour sauce.
They would probably be really good with sweet and sour sauce.
And I don't think the spicy would go with sweet and sour, but
it's because with the honey mustard it was like a sweet heat. It was good.
Okay, let me ask you this.
So
does the actual chicken nugget taste different? And by that I mean not the flavor but the texture, I guess, like, or is it just like an original, it's just spicy?
Oh, you're saying like, is it any different?
Yeah, like is it crispier, or is it like, to me, for some reason, I have this impression like there's less chicken. I don't know why, but like it's flatter.
I got this sensation that the breading was a little bit thicker.
Yeah,
but
that's what it looks like. So.
Not too different.
Okay, but going back to sauces, I heard you were into sauces.
Oh, I'm slathered in sauce right now. Should I get out of my sauce for this podcast?
That would be ideal, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think the viewers the listeners can handle that image for the entirety of the rest of this episode. So, sauces though, I mean, like, do you make your own sauces? Do you like to just like put sauce on everything? Or do you have specific sauces you enjoy? Or is it like, if something is served with sauce, you're already like 50% sold? You're like, that has a sauce? Okay, I'm going to try it. How intense is this?
Where is this coming from?
How intense is this sauce addiction of yours?
Is this from my lovely fiance?
No.
Well, the thing is, I tend to get sauces and try sauces. I do enjoy sauces. First of all, I had to try the chicken nuggets by themselves first. You always want to try without the sauce. You need to know what you're dealing with.
Guess.
You need to know what the base is.
Okay.
You need a baseline. So sometimes you might even forgo sauce, but a lot of times you can get pretty interesting things to happen with your sauce. And I can't tell you how much better Chipotle got when I ordered that vinaigrette. Oh my God.
Really?
That vinaigrette they have is so good.
Okay.
You gotta always try the sauces.
All right,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, when I'm at home, I get like, lately I've been on the Chipotle Tabasco kick.
Mm.
There is a special version of Tabasco that's like made with Chipotles. Funny enough, you can find it in Chipotles.
I was gonna say that's kind of like a double negative sort of thing where it's like you're adding two different spices to a sauce. Like I thought a Chipotle was its own spice, and then
Wow, yeah, it's like
I don't know.
they also make a cayenne Tabasco.
Oh, okay.
So I think there's like
So it's just
a sriracha Tabasco.
A flavor of a Tabasco is Chipotle.
I guess. It's really good. It's so smoky. It's awesome.
What do you put it on?
And so, well, I actually mainly use it as a base for my other sauces.
Oh, okay.
And I'll mix in like maybe some honey mustard or something and make it kind of like a smoky hot honey mustard.
Yeah.
And
You've always loved honey mustard. I just remember that
good.
like anytime we would go out when you were younger and everybody else got ketchup for their fries, you were always like, "Can I have honey mustard?" And that was just like your staple thing. And now you've elevated it.
Yeah, I've evolved
by putting Tabasco.
Evolved.
You've evolved.
But I mean, even I enjoy just plain mustard as well. If you want to get like some deli mustard, like some Dijon, and just mix in, be a little healthier, mix in just a little bit of that Chipotle Tabasco. Also, you can make basil based stuff. If you get like basil aioli, you get like a little bit of mayo, and then you mix in some like Italian herbs, maybe a little bit of balsamic. It's good.
That sounds good. What is an aioli? What is that technically?
It's mayo. Pretty much. I mean, I think I don't know. I feel like people like use it as like this is an artisan mayo, but it's usually it's basically the same ingredients as mayo with whatever they put on top of it. Like a basil aioli is just basil mixed with mayo.
It's fancy way of saying it. Okay, so you've got your sauces. So you like to make your own. Do you I mean, you obviously feel like a sauce kind of elevates a dish.
Tzatziki is so good. Sorry, go on.
Oh, I love tzatziki. That's like I bought a bunch of it, like a whole vat, and I don't know what I was thinking. I just could not go through it.
What am I thinking?
Fast enough. I was really sad to throw it away because it like I basically ate like less than half of it because I just
only eat so much
love
tzatziki.
it. And I'm like, I'm gonna put this on everything, and then of course I didn't.
Right.
It's good, but it's obviously it's not for everything, as I've learned.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean I like sauces too, but I just feel like you're more of a connoisseur of sauces, and you're more adventurous with your sauces, whereas I'm probably more of like in the movie genre, like more of a creature comfort sauce girl.
Oh, I got you. Well, you can try the Rasta Deck sauce at Tijuana Flats.
Okay. Oh, Rasta.
Rasta Deck sauce. I think the full thing is like Rastafarian Deck sauce, but
okay.
It's delicious.
Let's see.
Another smoky one. If you like Chipotles, go wonderfully with it.
And that's specifically at Tijuana, or are they just like...
I mean, I think they get their hot sauces from other places, but the only place I've ever seen it is from Tijuana. Let me see.
So now what do you use that for? Like just for...
I mean...
for tacos and stuff?
It is a hot sauce, I would say, although it is not very hot. It is just kind of like a mild hot sauce, I guess.
Okay, so it's called Ocean Deck Rasta Sauce. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
I looked it up. Okay, Ocean Deck Rasta Sauce from Tijuana. And apparently you can buy this... Oh, wait. Maybe it's... Well, I don't know. But there is an actual Ocean Deck Rasta Sauce. Like, there's like a whole... Oh, no, that is... Wait, that's weird. I pulled it up, and the site looks like Tijuana Flats site, but it's called oceandeck.com.
Maybe they only distribute
through
Tijuana.
Oh, maybe.
What?
But I think you can buy it on Amazon.
Like I said, I've never seen it anywhere else.
Maybe not.
It's good stuff. It's pretty delicious.
So I think Tijuana Flats is a Florida chain. So I'm just, for those out there who don't live in Florida, it is, it's a taco, what would you call it? It's like a
taco place. It's
chain.
a like Tex-Mex, I guess.
Yeah.
place. They're mainly known for the
It's very
tacos,
good.
but obviously they have a lot of other stuff like burritos and chimichangas and stuff.
Yeah. Um, and it's a favorite of college kids. It
Yeah,
says,
well, it was started in UCF, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, it did, and I think it was started by college kids.
Yep.
Um. Anyways, I am just like trying to find the sauce, but
Because you need it.
okay. So any other favorite? Well, no. I mean, I want to try new things. I'm getting kind of adventurous with my sauces. I'm trying to live outside my comfort zone. That's where you grow.
Apparently,
You
they
know?
have one in Indiana. I'm
At
I'm
Tijuana
looking at their
Flats.
locations map, and they have a few in North Carolina. They have like 5 in North Carolina. They have 1 in Virginia, and they have 1 in
Wow, they're branching out.
Indianapolis,
Okay, okay,
Indiana. So fascinating. Anyways, yeah, wow, they're open in a lot of
okay.
places. Geez, if you look at Orlando, it's
Nice.
like peppered in them.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, they're great
There's so
places.
many times where people talk about restaurants and stuff that they don't have here, or just different things, and I get so excited, and then I find out that they don't exist in Florida, and I get really disappointed. So I just want to let people know before they start, saying, "Oh, I want to try that place," and then, but I guess you could always Google it. You never know.
Yeah.
Like there's this girl that I follow. She talks about these chocolate chip cookies that she buys. I think she buys them at like a Whole Foods where she lives or whatever.
Okay.
But the brand itself is only available in California. So they don't have them here in Florida. And I'm like, every time she makes them, they're so good. And I think they're even like they're not like they're dairy free or something. There's something special about them. But she's like, they're so good and they look so good. And I'm like, I need to try these chocolate chip cookies. And I get so sad because I'm like, oh, they don't have them here. It's like a California based business and they only distribute there. So
Yeah.
anyway, yep. So sauce is good. Seems to really like the thing about sauces though for me is
Gotta be careful with sauces. They can be sometimes
yeah.
the unhealthiest part of a meal.
Well, not only that, but the most pungent and the most like they overwhelm the dish to the point where it's like
You mean give it flavor?
no, like ruin it, Like that's all you could taste.
Well, I mean, if you're like
It's like
dumping it in
too
horseradish
much.
sauce or something.
Ugh, horseradish sauce. Don't even get me started. That is horrid. There's certain strong. I think that's the problem. Is like anything strong, I'm adverse to. So, and I've said this so many times before, but like anything with a strong flavor, don't I don't do well with. I guess with my taste buds. Maybe my taste buds are very sensitive. I don't know, but yeah. I avoid anything with like too much flavor.
You want to take like a normal chicken sandwich. You have this boring chicken sandwich, and then you put barbecue
Uh-huh.
sauce on it. You got barbecue chicken sandwich.
True. I love barbecue sauce.
Barbecue sauce is so good.
It goes with everything. I put it on salad, like as a dressing
Barbecue
on
salad. I bet that'd be good on like a Southwest salad. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's good on every salad except for the like fruit ones.
Yeah, I was about to say
like
like
the fruit
I was
salads.
thinking of like a market fresh chopped apple barbecue sauce.
Yeah, maybe not that, but
Oh man, you
uh,
know who turns applesauce into a real sauce? Like it has sauce in the name, but you're like, is it a sauce? If you go and eat German food and you have like what are the little potato cakes, like latkes? Is that what they're called? You have those with
um,
applesauce. Oh, so good.
really,
Yeah.
just like straight up applesauce,
Potatoes
or
and
like
apples. Who
an
knew?
apple made like an apple made sauce, like a sauce made with
No, like
apples, or
applesauce.
really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's legit.
Yeah, I do like potatoes. Yep, sweet potatoes especially.
Sweet potatoes are
Or
delicious.
like the small red potatoes.
Oh man. Oh, and you know what sauce is good? You make those everybody knows them, the meatballs with the cranberry sauce. Oh, so
What?
good.
Meatballs with cranberry sauce.
Yeah, you never had
Oh,
those?
think
It's
so.
a holiday tradition. You get a crock pot. It's so easy. You get grape jelly. You get like some cranberry jelly, and
Uh-huh.
I think you generally use like a tomato sauce, and you kind of mix them all together, and it makes like this kind of like savory sweet sauce. And then you drizzle it over meatballs in a like a frozen meatball bag, in, or you can make them fresh if you want to be bougie, fancy. And
Yeah.
then you just put them in a crock pot for like 4 hours. Oh my God. What comes out of there is so delicious. It's like, oh, mm. It's
Oh,
got
this is
the,
so
it's
good.
got the,
You're making me so hungry right
it's
now.
got the like juicy meat flavor, but it's got like the sweet and savory flavors. Ah,
Yes, it sounds good. Now, Mike's family does something which sounds very similar to this, except instead of meatballs, they use like little, like hot dog things. What are they called?
like
Like
a little
they're like really small hot dogs.
yeah, the ones that they put in like the pigs in blankets and stuff. I forget what they're
Yeah,
called, but yeah.
yeah. So I think meatballs would probably be a little better because they're the texture. It absorbs. I feel like it would absorb the flavor
Yeah,
more.
they're great as an appetizer because you can just put them out on a plate with like the toothpicks in them, and just like
Mm-hmm.
there's so much flavor in a single bite. It's like you pop one meatball in your mouth and you're like, wow, what an experience that was.
Yeah,
It's really good.
cool.
It's kind of like if you ever had like
Nice.
at IKEA the lingonberry
Yes,
with the meatballs.
that's what I was thinking
Yeah,
of.
it's
Yeah.
great for the holidays.
Well, speaking of holidays, they're coming up soon. Do you have any like? Are you gonna dress up? Or are you have any?
Yeah, I'm gonna get a tux and I'm gonna sit around. It's gonna be nice.
I mean, okay, that's one way to go. I just wonder if anybody's gonna dress up with if trick or treating is off limits. But do you think they'll do trick or treating this year?
They'll probably do like, I don't know. I feel like most parents are probably just going to. I think that some places will probably do trick or treating. Some people are going to be like, I don't care if my kids get sick. Um, but
True.
I think for most people, like, I mean, honestly, the kids just want the candy, right? Like they would
Yeah.
prefer not to have to go door to door as well. So you could just walk them around the neighborhood like in their
But
cool
it's such a
outfit.
good it's such a good reason for parents to wear kids out,
Well, you
like
could still walk around and like keep a good 6 foot distance and have them like show off their cool costume that they work so hard on cutting holes in your bed sheets. And then
okay.
when you get home, you just give them like full size candy bars, and they're like, "Yeah."
Those are the best when people do that. I mean, I kind of like the like nostalgia of going and getting the small things, but when you get a big one, it's just like
But I mean, the best part
hallelujah.
of the old days was getting a big one.
I
If somebody
know.
dropped
It's
a,
like the
a
back.
full freaking honkin' Butterfingers in your bag, you were
I
like,
know. Golden. I got the golden ticket.
and then you just stare them right in
Like
the eyes and you go, "We will be back and in greater numbers."
yes, that's the thing is like once you start that trend, there's no going back.
Yeah.
You're the
Yeah, if you
house.
stop,
You're
you
the
get
house
egged.
everyone's going to. Yeah, exactly. You just say, we moved.
So then
Got like a move
that's what I'm
sign.
saying. This year it's going to be better for everybody. The parents don't really have to have those awkward interactions with the other parents where it's like, "Hey, what's up? Crazy kids." And then the kids don't have to be like, "I'm scared of that house. I don't want to go up there." And then the kids get full size candy bars. And instead of buying like the stupid crappy candy for the neighborhood kids, you can buy your own kids like their favorite kind of candy and they'll blow their minds.
So it's like Easter, but on Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're speaking like an introvert though. I feel like a lot of people are saying
I'm
like
pretty sure
I
everybody
really
thinks
enjoy the
exactly like how I do.
socialization. I know you think that. I don't know. I feel like this year it's I don't know. It shouldn't be totally skipped, but maybe done differently, like in an out of the box kind of a way. But I agree. It's really going to be, I mean, sad for the the candy companies, but I do feel like
Sad for the candy
it's better.
companies.
It's better
Oh,
for
Snickers, no.
everybody because here's the thing: like, how many people go trick or treating and get a billion, cajillion candy pieces, and then they sit around in your cabinet for the entire year, and you end up throwing
Yeah,
them
you
away.
find the
There's
old
no
Milky
way
Ways
that
and you're
anybody
like,
eats all that candy.
"Is this good? Can I eat this?"
I know. I know. It's like how, and they don't have any expiration dates on them because they're like little tiny things. You're like how, and then you open it and the chocolate's like white.
It's got like that
That's
powder over the
that's
top.
that's borderline,
I think it's
right?
borderline. I can take a bite.
Yeah.
Like this is a
Uh.
Reese's and it's covered in mold, but I
Oh,
hear peanut
gross.
butter mold's good, so I'll eat that.
No. Or like the Butterfingers are stales. Have you ever had a stale Butterfinger
I
before?
think I have. Or
So
all
gross.
Butterfingers stale.
I know, that's kind of the thing is like there's a shelf life. There's a short shelf life for Butterfinger. I feel like there you either have to eat them so fresh for them to be any good, and then after a certain point, it's like it's just sticks in your teeth,
I feel
and
like that's just Butterfingers.
it's I know, but there is a point where if you've ever had a fresh Butterfinger, I don't know any other way to describe that, but it's crunchy and it does stick in your teeth a little bit, but it's easier to get out, and it's like it kind of more melts in your mouth, and I don't know, but stale Butterfinger, it's just like cardboard, sticky cardboard. There's hardly any flavor. I don't know. That's definitely one of those candies that's unacquired. I feel like an acquired taste. I don't know. What's your
I've
favorite
acquired it.
candy bar?
For a long time, my favorite candy bar was Three Musketeers. I really do like that fluffy chocolate situation they got going on.
Okay.
Not really, honestly, sure when the last time I had a candy. I know the cookies and cream Hershey's is great.
What is it?
Obviously, Reese's. Anything Reese's
Oh,
is
yeah,
amazing.
anything Reese's. It's
Do
true.
like Butterfingers. I don't really go for the nutty ones too much. I feel like if I want like a sweet like peanut or something, besides the Reese's stuff, but like if I want like a sweet thing with nuts in it, I'll get like trail mix or something, like sugary trail mix.
Mm,
I don't know why
okay.
I would get like the paydays or what have you, but yeah, I don't know. I
Interesting.
feel like it's funner to make something like a s'mores or something to
A
really
s'mores?
do up a treat. It feels just kind of like guilty and crappy if I just like am at CVS and I'm like, I'll buy a Three Musketeers. Yeah, why not? And then I just eat it in the parking lot and I'm like, well, that was unhealthy.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I think of it more like, like a treat, like Halloween or, something like
Right.
that, where it's like an occasion to eat it. But yeah, I've had a weird situation with my candy eating story because I grew up hating chocolate. I never liked chocolate. Didn't like anything with
You're a
chocolate in
monster. I
it.
get it.
Yeah, we've discussed this before. And so I would only eat like more fruity types of candies, like nerds or I'm trying to think because I also really hate chewy candy, and a lot of fruity candy is chewy. So I really didn't like candy growing up because it was like nothing really appealed to me. I did like blow pops and things like that that are kind of easier to consume but also are fruity. But anyway, as I got older, I started not necessarily liking chocolate, but I liked things with chocolate in them. So like candy bars that had a chocolate accent, I guess, but not a huge, strong chocolatey flavor.
They're like, this was made
So
next door to a chocolate factory.
yeah, something like that. Like if it's too much chocolate, I can't. But so and I've completely gone away from fruity candy. Like I just don't like pretty much any kind of fruity candy except for every now and then I will have some Mike and Ike's, which are chewy and fruity. I
Oh
understand,
man,
but
talk about getting stuck in your
they
teeth.
are pretty good once in a while. Like very once in a while, like once every 5 years. I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. But and not obviously very much at once. But yeah, so I will say that if I had to pick a candy that was my like all time favorite, I would probably say Reese
Oh
Pieces
yeah,
because you can't go wrong with that. It's kind of like it's not too chocolatey, it's not too peanut buttery. It's just kind of like the perfect
that's pretty good.
flavor. Yeah. Um however, I have as I've gotten older, like I said, like gravitated towards like Snickers. I do like things with like basically anything that has caramel in it. So like Twix.
Interesting.
Yeah, Twix and
So you're
Snickers
liking that
and
chocolate, huh?
I
Why not
know.
the
But
Reese's cups?
they're not like overpowering with chocolate. It's like there's enough other stuff in
What
there
about a
that the
Yorkshire mint?
chocolate's just kind of like an accent. I do like the mints. I do.
How about
I like those, like Junior Mints and Yorks.
how about
Yeah.
an Andes?
I love an Andes
Oh,
candy.
see, you like chocolate.
But I just don't feel like I don't feel like chocolate is the main what's ingredient. It's like it's not the showstopper. It's like it's just this accent on the side that kind of adds to it, but it's not. But there are certain things where I will pick the chocolate off just to eat the rest of it, like the candies and stuff. I used to do that with chocolate bars, like Snickers and stuff, but I don't do that anymore. I'm trying to think of one that I do that with.
What do you got for me?
I don't know. I don't like the one that you said. What is it? Three Musketeers?
Right. Well, it's fluffy chocolate with thick chocolate on the outside.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like. I'm trying to think of other candy bars. What is another candy bar?
1,000 gram. What is a 100-gram bar?
100-gram bar?
A Mars bar.
Is there caramel?
That's a caramely one.
Is it? I don't know. I don't think I like Mars bars.
Oh, it's like a Milky Way.
You know what I hate? Whoppers. Do you like Whoppers?
I feel like I like one Whopper, and I'm like, what an interesting texture. And then I eat another one, I'm like, nah.
Nah, it's so weird. I guess we talked about Skittles. You know, we've talked about our love-hate relationship with those.
I pretty much love them, but yeah, shame on them for getting rid of the lime.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, stuff like that I used to like growing up and stuff, but one thing I do always like that's kind of a controversial candy is candy corn. We've talked.
This is
were you there when
controversy.
we were talking about yeah, we were talking about
This is
that.
a controversial topic.
Kind of. I mean, you know. Oh, you know what I've actually been eating that I've been liking, which goes back to the Andes candies, is Kit Kat has now come out with
Kit Kat's so good.
a mint, like a mint chocolate Kit Kat.
Mint
It's really
chocolate.
good.
Kit Kats have a lot of flavors, let me tell you. If you ever, there's like a meme about how in Japan Kit Kat is like a rainbow of flavors. There's like a million different ones. There's like matcha green tea. There's like cookies and cream. There's
Really?
bubble gum. I don't know. Like they have all kinds of crazy
oh my
flavors.
gosh, that is weird.
They have like kiwi ones and whatever else.
It is so funny how different, like we were talking about that with Skittles too, like how they just come out with all these weird flavors and you never know about them. And I don't know, it's weird. I wonder like the different experiences that people have, in different countries, but also in different states, because I've traveled to different states quite a bit lately,
Mm-hmm.
and they do also have different flavored candies. Like I did notice there was like a birthday cake Kit Kat somewhere, I forget where, but I think it was
That sounds fun.
I don't know, I can't remember which state that was in. But I'm like, also when you go to different Targets or grocery stores or whatever, maybe not grocery stores, but Targets for sure. Different Targets in different states are totally different, which makes sense because
They target different audiences.
well, yeah, they target different audiences, but you know, like they have better, obviously, winter wear because it snows wherever. So, but I'm talking like everything that they offer just seems, and I don't know if it's just seems better because it's not what I see every time I walk into a Target. Exactly. Or if it's just higher quality stuff. Like, I don't know. But obviously they have staples that are all the same, but I feel like...
Oh, yeah. Staples is the same everywhere. I mean, printer paper. How different could it be?
I knew you were going to do that. I knew that. That was coming. But even in different counties, different cities within your own state, they're different. So, like, travel outside your city and go to a
get outside,
Target.
guys.
Like, try it out. It's going to change your whole...
It's just a pandemic.
Change your world, yeah. Just walk into all these Targets, do what you got to do. Oh my gosh, speaking of Target, I saw this TikTok, and it's kind of probably old now, but
you're behind on the talks.
This girl walked into a Target wearing a wedding dress, and she walked up to this guy who turns out was her fiance, and she walked in with a priest and her best friend, and she's like, basically they had been engaged for a really long time, and he kept sort of avoiding setting a date, I guess. So she basically was like, we're getting married, and he worked there at Target, so he was at work. And she walks in and she's like, we're getting married right now or I'm leaving you.
What an ultimatum.
I know. And nobody knows what happened because...
Well, it's a TikTok.
The TikTok wasn't by her. It was somebody in Target who saw this happening. So they just kind of started recording, and the bride, or well, the I guess she's a bride. She saw
or is she?
that they were TikToking her or like recording her, and she's like, I don't care if you TikTok. This is what's happening. He's gonna marry me right now. So she was all about it. But then he was like, can we go outside and talk? Like, this is really embarrassing. So
Ooh.
he takes her outside to talk, and then the TikTok stops. So nobody knows what happened. Anyway.
But that's like when somebody's
Cliffhanger.
ask you to marry them, right? I mean, a little
Uh-huh.
less immediately, but an engagement in general, and somebody goes, can we talk?
Yeah, like in a public place, you're like,
Well,
oh, it's not a
it's
no,
rough,
but
man.
let's go to. Yeah, that is rough. That is rough. I think you gotta kind of read. You gotta read the room. Those are guys that can't read a room. As I mean, you set yourself up
And
for
you're
that.
skipping so much fun stuff. Like right now, planning my wedding. I mean, I know that a lot of the funnest parts are like setting up the registry, finding all the
Yeah,
hedonistic
getting all the
things that
money,
I
getting.
want to ask people for. Setting up the all that good
Setting up
stuff.
my gold mine, setting up my future,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff.
You're missing out. I'm sitting here. Well, maybe she was at Target, so she was like, "While I'm here, I'll also do my registry."
Maybe. I don't know, that's pretty funny though.
She's missing out on all the fun of
Um
it.
yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, something about love. Like, this is a poll for people. So, do you think that telling somebody that you love them, like saying the words "I love you," is essential in a relationship, or do you feel like if somebody never once told you that they love you, but like they because some people like to show their like they feel like actions speak louder than words,
Mm-hmm.
so they don't feel the need to ever say it, or if they do, they say it one time and they never feel like saying it again. They don't feel like they need
It
to
is
say it
known.
ever again. Like, do you feel like in a relationship, either A, you need to be told I love you on a regular basis, or or the other poll could be like, do you think that saying the words is an important aspect in a relationship? Yes or no?
Well,
What do you
I
think?
think that it depends on the people involved, and I think that it's there's probably a bit of a middle ground that needs to be reached in a lot of instances. If one person like feels, I guess, like they're being fake or something, if they're saying it too much, then maybe tone it down a little. But like if somebody also really loves that validation, then you got to meet somewhere in the middle so that each person gets a little what they want, I would say.
That's the best answer. Yeah,
But
I feel
that's
you.
that's if
I feel
there is a
like,
difference.
yeah,
Personally, can't say it enough. We're just like,
you just
yeah,
vomit love all over each
it's
other.
every other word basically. It's like love you, but also do you want to go get something to eat? Love you.
Well, you are engaged, so you're in a very heightened love state.
Uh huh.
So we'll let it pass for
Some
now.
might call it approaching the honeymoon phase.
Exactly. Can you though? Like, I mean, I don't know because obviously my experience with this has been a lot different. But I wonder if like it's because you've been together for 10 years, right? Like a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get engaged. Does that then start that all over again, like that honeymoon like giddy phase again? Is it kind of like this new chapter, so it's new and exciting, and so it brings up those emotions again?
I mean, it's hard to say if it ever really leaves, but it's definitely
Aw.
like you spend your whole relationship imagining that you would eventually reach this point. So it's not like totally shocking, but it is definitely very exciting to be taking a next step.
I see. Yeah. Cool. Well, we'll have to get more details on your wedding as it gets closer so we can get some like inside
Of course, of
info.
course.
Yeah. Um yeah, so I'm just checking in the time. I haven't been paying attention.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Do you have do
Oh,
you have
we're
a
over.
clock? Oh, we are.
Yeah,
Okay.
just way
I
past,
thought
way past
it
time.
felt late, but I was having so much fun chatting, so I wasn't
Well,
sure. The
there'll be
time
lots to cut
flew
out.
by. Yeah, good luck with that.
Very successful.
um yeah. I love doing these. This is my favorite thing to do. And obviously, it's the most successful thing I've ever
And
done. So,
also, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
of the year. Actually, it probably will be by the time this comes out.
So, what are your Christmas plans? Um, Fair point.
Yes.
But you see,
Good.
I feel like people binge watch all year round, so they just get into the they get into the mood of wherever the podcast is, in the universe.
True.
They'll be watching
It
this
doesn't
3
really
years
matter.
from now. They'll be like, okay, I guess it was Halloween.
That's true. We shouldn't time date ourselves so that people can binge this at like 10 years from now and be like, this is still relevant.
Or you can like
candy is always a topic of conversation.
True. But you can always like you can always get a sense of time passing. Like even if you're talking about things like I don't know, like Among Us or something, like you were last episode.
Yeah.
That might be a dead game by the time somebody's watching this, but they might have also since it was such a popular game, have played it and been like, oh, I remember when that game was a thing. Classic.
And we just revamped it for them.
Yeah, it was like a little.
Let's start a new trend.
It's like a little blast of nostalgia for them. Like I think I'll go and install Among Us again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should play though. Like honestly.
Oh yeah, you need a lot of people.
We should play as. Yeah.
We can.
I mean, Jackie's already said she wanted to try it if enough people did it. But the problem is it does cost money, so I don't think she knows.
Well, it costs like $5.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't buy it. I was gifted. It was gifted to
It's
me,
also, I think it's free on mobile. I think you could play on mobile.
Oh, really?
I think so.
I didn't know that.
But I've also heard it's not as well done. But
I did, when one of the people we were playing with was playing on mobile, and he did say it was harder to do things, like the tasks.
I'd imagine so.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Future thoughts.
Good stuff.
Cool. Yeah. Well, we'll be back soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Later, folks.
Folks.
Hey, what are you still doing here? Podcast's over. We told you to get out of here. Go on.
Oh yeah, get out of here.
It's over. It's done. The podcast is it ended like 5 minutes ago. What are you doing? Go on. Go. That was my Ferris Bueller ending.
I loved it.
Good.
I loved it. Have you seen Ferris Bueller recently?
No.
That's a good show. See, that one I would watch.
Bueller.
I love you. Bye bye.